Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the Faerie Witch vlog. I'm the Faerie Witch, and thank you so much for tuning in. I welcome you, whether you're a subscriber or not. If you are one of my subscribers, that's so terrific. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, feel free if you'd like to. Today, I am the Faerie Witch, as I said, and if you're brand new to the channel, I basically do all sorts of different things. So you never know what you're gonna get, and we do a lot of spell work and creative projects. I'm an artist. I'm a knitter. I'm a certified cat trainer. I'm a retired certified dog trainer. We have cats. We've had dogs in the past. I've worked with animal rescues. I've worked for a big pet store chain when I was a dog trainer. Um, I'm an artist, and we work a little bit with gardening work. I'm a knitter, so I do a lot of that. So you never know what you're gonna get. And so today we are going to do another little cooking or baking episode. And you're going to find it interesting because this recipe that we're going to make is from my dog and cat treat cookbook that I actually created. I haven't published it yet, but I created it a couple years ago. And so today we're going to do a really, fairly easy and pretty quick, I think, little recipe for some cat treats. And so we're going to make the witty kitties today. So feel free to write it down, and hopefully you can, or make it with me if you'd like. And hopefully your kitties will enjoy it. I think ours will. And we're going to do the taste test at the end. But yeah, so let's make some witty kitties today. Let's sprinkle some fairy dust and see what we can conjure up. So what you're going to need for your ingredients to make the witty kitties is we are going to need a jar of, oh, let me just say, make sure that whenever you make anything, bake anything, cook anything for your pets, always check with your veterinarian first. Make sure that all the ingredients you want to use are safe. Make sure that it won't interfere with any medicines your pet may be on. Make sure it meets all the dietary needs or your restrictions maybe your cat or dog is on. So always check with that first before you cook or bake or anything for your pet, okay? So, what you're going to need is a jar of baby food, and this is chicken flavor, and the kitties seem to like that. And you can use a can of tuna in water, or you can use a can of sardines. I'm going to use what I've got today, so I've got sardines. And you're going to need a little bit of wheat flour, or you can use regular white flour. We don't need a lot, so just a little bit. And you're also going to need some shredded mild cheddar cheese. And you can use either some turkey or chicken. I have chicken right now, so I'm going to use the chicken today with this. And you can pre-cook the chicken like I did last night. I pre-cooked this a little bit. Or you can do it all in one shot so that's all fresh, whatever you prefer to do. It's just last night I couldn't do the video, but I wanted to get the chicken cooked, so I went ahead and cooked it ahead of time. So, plus it makes it faster on the video, so you don't have to sit through all that. But anyway, definitely you can do it ahead of time, or you can do it all in one shot. Just get it, and then you're going to need a frying pan or a saucepan. I need to grab that as well. So let me grab that, and I think it's down here somewhere. Aha. I just got a little frying pan. Okay. So I think that's all the ingredients. So it's going to be fairly easy. knock on wood. Alrighty, so again, like I say, you can use turkey or chicken. I'm using chicken because that's what I've got. So I'm going to cut it up into little pieces. I just have a little piece. I'm not sure how much this is going to equal out, so after I cut it, I'll put it in a measuring cup. That way you know what you're going to need. And this recipe can be for dogs as well. All these ingredients, to my knowledge, are fine for a dog. Our German Shepherd used to eat this kind of stuff a lot. I used to make stuff from the book for her and never had a problem. But again, always go with what your veterinarian recommends. Always look it up if you're not sure before you do it. And I always cook everything. I don't do a raw diet for the pets, for the cats. I always cook it. Okay, so I'm just getting them into little pieces. And you can decide on the piece size as well. Like if you're making this for for the cats, they're gonna need to be small. This is a little bit too big. I'm still gonna have to shred and pull and get these even smaller. But if like you want to make it for a Chihuahua, again you're gonna want mini bites, okay? But if you got a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd or a Great Dane, well then maybe you could go with this size, bit. Let me see if you can see it there. Something like that. So you got to think about your dog's mouth and teeth size when you're doing this, and then just make it to the size that will work for them, because you don't want them to choke. You don't want them to, swallow it down without even tasting it. So again, you got to think about all this just to be safe, to make it good, and make it safe for them. Alright, so I'm going to keep shredding all this. So I'm going to try to get this plucked. Here we go. And like I say, you can use this with, you can make this with turkey. And like I say, we're going to have sardines, or you can use tuna. So, cats prefer seafood kind of stuff usually, but they like meat too. They like chicken, they like turkey, and I do ground beef sometimes on these recipes. So if that's what you got, if you got ground beef and you want to use that, you can. So, this recipe can be versatile. You can do variations. And then write it down. That way, if you find out what your cat likes and what he doesn't like. So maybe your particular cat would prefer just all seafood. You could do that. Maybe he would prefer the chicken and the turkey. Maybe he'd prefer the beef. Write it down, and then that way you know what to do next time. Alright, so I'm still plucking pieces. Sorry. I guess I should have done that ahead of time, but you're seeing me do it. Sort of. I may have to change the camera angle. Actually, yes. There you go. Okay, see a little bit more. I hope the lighting is okay. It looks okay to me here, but I may have to turn on the light overhead and see if that helps. We'll try it both ways, but hopefully all of you are able to see this. So I'm still just pulling it apart, putting it into bits. And then I gotta measure it for you so you know how much. We're getting there. Don't want to waste, so I gotta use what I have. Oops. Okay. So. Alright. We're almost there. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so all the chicken is cut up and shredded. Now, you're gonna need a measuring spoon, and you need a tablespoon, which I think is here. I think it's this one. Trying to read it. Yeah, okay. So I got my tablespoon measuring spoon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a tablespoon of the baby food. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Hang on. Let me see how much this equaled out to. Oops. Okay. Let's see. This is not quite. It's more than that. Okay. Alright. So the chicken equaled out to be half a cup. Okay, so we got half a cup of the chicken, or turkey or ground beef, whichever you're choosing to use. Okay. Alright. So half a cup. Alright, so back to this. Then we're going to take the tablespoon of baby food, as best I can. Have to spoon it out onto the baby food here. Okay. There we go. So I got a tablespoon of baby food. And our cats like the chicken flavor, so that's what I'm working with. Okay. And I'm going to save the rest of this. Okay, and then, let's see. I've got sardines, but again, like I say, you can use canned tuna and water. So I'm going to use what I got here. These little guys are always so ugly. They stink. But the kitties like it. Okay, so since I'm using sardines, I'm going to use approximately what equals out to be a tablespoon. So again, you can use a tablespoon of the tuna. I'm going to use sardine as probably going to be about one, because they're about that long. So let me get a fork. And let's scoop this little sucker out. Yeah, it equals out. I mean, you know, the size here. So I'm going to put it in with the chicken. I'll save the rest of those. And I'm going to mash it in. Yep, it's getting stinky. But dogs and cats like things that stink. It's just very attractive to them. Because let's face it, their sense of smell is a lot stronger than ours. And for cats, they use it even more, I think, than dogs, because sometimes their vision might be off a little bit, depending on whether it's dark or light, depending on what colors they're looking at. But they rely on their noses. So if something doesn't smell right, they're not going to eat it. They're not going to look into it. And yet, if it smells really good or something new that they've never had before, yeah, they're going to check that out. You know, it's like curiosity killed the cat. That's where kind of saying comes from. Yeah. They go by their noses. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is we're going to need a tablespoon of the wheat flour or regular flour. So I'm going to grab a little of that. And let's make sure. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a complete big overfilling one. Just a little bit. And this is just kind of like a little binding or bonding agent. So all the wet ingredients have something to grab onto. Because you're going to try to roll them up a little bit into little tiny kibble pieces. So we're going to add that in. So I'm just blending and mixing. And then the next thing you need is a little bit of cheese. So I've got a little bag of mild shredded cheddar cheese. Let's see, how much do we want of that? Okay, so we want about a tablespoon of it. Just a little bit. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it. And they're a little bit long, so we're just going to shred them, mash them, get them a little bit smaller. Okay. It's just a little bit to add a little more flavor. Alrighty. So again, we're just going to mash it in. Okay. So kind of got it mixed. Alright. Yeah, and it feels fairly wet, which is nice. So I'm just going to, oh, that's too big. So it's going to take a few minutes, so I'll do some of them off camera. But I'm just kind of rolling into little balls. That actually might be a little bit too big. That could be a little bit too big yet, so let's break that in half. Okay, yeah, I think so. Alright, and then I'm going to put them into my pan. So let me get those done, and then I'll come back. So I've got a bunch of them rolled up and ready. I'm not going to overfill the pan because I want you to be able to see as I move them. But I just basically rolled them into little bits as best I can. And then I'm going to put it on the stove and just let them warm up a little bit. So we're going to do that next. Okay. And I'm just putting them on medium heat for right now. I still have more of the mixture, so I will be making more of it. Stuff out of here and clean up a little bit here while we're letting that cook. I'm going to use my fork and I'm just going to kind of push them around a little bit just to kind of warm them up. They don't have to actually really cook because I've already cooked the chicken. I'm just trying to warm them up some. That way it helps the aromas and the flavors to come out. It'll entice the cats a little bit more. They'll like the smell. And besides, warmer food seems to be a little more easier on their congestion, not their congestion, they're on their stomachs. So, because cold food sometimes, especially if it comes right out of the fridge or whatever, it for charcoal especially, if she eats it, because she'll want it, she'll eat it, and then it's either a combination of eating it too fast or it's too cold, and she ends up throwing it up like right away. So yeah, it's better to warm it up a little. So I'm just gonna kind of warm them some, and then just make sure consistency looks good, and then you let them cool a couple minutes, and then you serve them. And you just keep moving them around, that way they don't burn. Okay. So I've just had them on there on the heat for just a couple minutes, and I don't want them to burn, and they don't need to be hard or crusty. I just want to warm them up. Yeah, yeah. So it makes them little kernels. Not bad. Okay, so then I can just let them cool for a few minutes, put them in a bowl or a plate, and then I can serve them. So let me grab a bowl. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna let them cool because they are a little bit too hot. They'll burn the kitties' mouths, and we don't want that. So let's let it cool down a couple minutes, and let me clean up my little station here, and I'll be right back. So they've been sitting here for a few minutes, and they feel much cooler. The kitties outside are already crying. They can either smell it or they heard the mixing bowl. They know the sound. They know the sound. Okay, so then we're gonna give them a little bit, and I see if I can insert a picture, because otherwise I can't take the camera from my computer with me. So let me see if I can get a picture of it for you, and I'll insert it in the end of this. So I got a couple pictures. So here is one of the kitties outside. Oh, I got a glare. Darn it. Trying to get away from the glare. Sorry, everybody. Let me see if I can turn it this way. But anyway, they're trying to get to the bowl. And yeah. Okay, so it's just the one. I thought I took two. But yeah, this is the first one. And they are definitely enjoying it. They really liked them. So yeah, so they're a hit. The witty kitties are a hit. So yeah. And Faerie, little Faerie, she's had a couple. So she's definitely awake from her nap. And like, where's more? I want more. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So the Witty Kitty is a hit, so that's terrific. So I hope your kitties will enjoy this little recipe as well. Like I say, it's fairly simple and fairly easy. And always check again with your vet for your dietary needs for your cat or your dog. Like I say, the dogs could like this too. Maybe your dogs wouldn't care for the sardines, but you might be okay with the tuna. Like I say, you could substitute the seafood altogether and put in ground beef with the chicken or a turkey or whatever. So you can leave out the stuff and make it for a dog as well. Just, always be sure of what size you're making, like I said. And again, it was only on the stove for a few minutes just to warm it up, just to get them a chance to, kind of adhere to each other. And it's a simple recipe, and they loved it. All the cats are looking for more out there. They loved it. So again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you like this, and I hope your cats like the recipe. And have a good fairy day. We'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe. Please donate to the PayPal if you'd like to. Please like the video if you'd like to. And I thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.